All right, let's dive into a part of your body you use literally every single second, but probably don't give a whole lot of thought to: your forearm. It's so much more than just the piece that connects your elbow to your wrist. It's an absolute powerhouse of complex machinery, a true symphony in motion. I mean, seriously, think about it for a second. Typing an email, waving goodbye to a friend, or using all your might to open a stubborn pickle jar. What's the connection? Well, every single one of those actions is powered by the very same incredible group of muscles. They are truly the unsung heroes of our everyday lives. So, what's the secret sauce that gives us all this amazing versatility? It really comes down to the sheer number of specialized muscles involved. We are talking about 19 distinct muscles, all packed into this pretty small area, and each one has a very specific job to do. It's incredible. Now, to make sense of all this, we're going to break it down. We'll look at the forearm's three specialized teams of muscles: the grippers, the lifters, and the twisters. And then we'll see how they all come together to play that beautiful coordinated symphony of movement. Okay, so the first thing you gotta understand is that these 19 muscles aren't just thrown in there randomly. Nope, they are perfectly organized into three distinct groups, or as we're gonna call them, teams. In the world of anatomy, these are actually known as compartments. So, what exactly is a compartment? Well, imagine it like a tough, fibrous sleeve. That's the fascia. And packed inside that sleeve, you've got a whole group of muscles that share a common purpose, along with the specific nerves and blood vessels they need to do their job. This setup is just brilliantly efficient. And here they are, our three teams. First up, we have the grippers, which live in the anterior or the front compartment. Then you've got the lifters, and they're in the posterior or back compartment. And finally, we have our specialists, the twisters, hanging out in the lateral or side compartment. All right, let's kick things off with Team Gripper. As you can probably guess from the name, these are the muscles that handle all of your powerful flexing and gripping actions. You'll find them right on the palm side of your forearm. So Team Gripper is the biggest of our groups, with a solid 8 muscles. Their main gigs are flexion, that's curling your wrist and fingers inward, and pronation, which is just a fancy term for turning your palm to face down. This is your power grip team, and it gets its marching orders from 2 different nerves, the median and the ulnar nerves. Let's try something right now. Go ahead and make a really tight fist. Feel that? That tension on the front of your forearm? Yep, those are your grippers going to work. Specifically, you've got 2 main heroes, the flexor digitorum superficialis and profundus, pulling on the tendons in your fingers to create that powerful grip. Pretty cool, right? All right, next up, we have Team 2, the lifters. And if the grippers are all about closing and flexing, well, it only makes sense that we'd have a team that does the exact opposite. You'll find this group on the back of your forearm. This team is made up of 7 muscles, and they're almost all dedicated to one primary job: extension. That's the action of straightening your wrist and opening your fingers. Like when you're waving goodbye. And what's really amazing here is the efficiency. This entire team is powered by just one nerve, the radial nerve. And this just perfectly illustrates the beautiful balance in our bodies, doesn't it? The grippers and the lifters work as opposing forces. It's a classic push and pull system. One group contracts to make something happen, while the other group relaxes and lengthens. This is what allows for all those smooth, controlled movements we make every day. And that brings us to our third and final group, Team Twister. They're located on the side of your forearm, right up near the elbow, and these muscles are true specialists in rotation and stabilization. So this team's #1 job is a movement called supination. Now, the easiest way to remember this is to think about holding a bowl of soup in your hand. To get your hand into that palm-up soup-holding position, you have to supinate. It's the exact opposite of the pronation we saw with the grippers. Yeah, it's our smallest team with just 4 muscles, but don't let that fool you. They are absolutely essential. Besides their main job of turning your palm up, they also play a huge role in stabilizing the wrist. And here's a cool little connection. They share the exact same power supply as Team Lifter, that radial nerve again, which just goes to show how closely these 2 groups have to work together. Okay, so we've met the teams individually, right? The grippers, the lifters, the twisters. But the real magic, the real artistry happens when they all work together. See, no single muscle or team ever works in isolation. Every little thing you do is a result of their perfectly timed coordination. So to see this teamwork in action, let's look at a really fascinating landmark on your own hand. Go on, give a big thumbs up. Now look at the base of your thumb. on the back of your hand. You see that little triangular hollow that appears? That, my friends, is called the anatomical snuff box. That little dip you see is actually created by the tendons of 3 different muscles stretching out to your thumb. And here's the really cool part. All 3 of them, and don't worry, I won't make you say the long Latin names, are all members of Team Lifter. It's a perfect, visible example of how a single team coordinates to create one very specific, precise movement. So, in the end, that's really what it all boils down to. The forearm isn't just a random collection of parts. It truly is a symphony of movement, where 19 different muscles, organized into 3 teams and powered by 3 major nerves, all work together in perfect harmony so we can interact with the world around us. So I'll leave you with this little challenge. The next time you pick up your coffee mug or your phone, just pause for a second. Try to actually feel what's happening in your forearm. Can you sense the grippers firing up and the lifters and twisters getting your hand into just the right position? The symphony is always playing. You just have to listen.